Hello, hello, hello guys, Blonde Ass and Ortoxgazer here, and today we're going to continue with the Witch to Evo 3 series that I've been doing. Today's episode is going to be on Nightmare. Alright, I'm not going to lie real quick. Jesus, these... talking this much gets me a little bit, I don't know why, but these ones exhaust me. I'm just going to keep going as much as I can. And we'll see what happens. So we're going to start off just like we always do. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons of Fire Nightmare, and we'll go from there. Alright, Fire Nightmare. Fire Nightmare is really great for progression since it does have that defense down and it's the attacker type, so it's a utility attacker. However, it doesn't really get too much from the improved stats of Evo 3 because it's not, what's it called? It's more of a utility monster, as I said, and it's not really used in PvP. It's mainly used as a defense downer in story, golems, dragons, and stuff like that, where the extra stats aren't really going to help it very, very much, as extra stats don't really help utility monsters that much because obviously they're mainly used for utility. It's not too great in PvP. It can be decent in dragons, it can be good in golems, it can be decent in titans as well, but for PvP, it's just a little underwhelming just because of the proc chances. 80% for 2 turns is okay, but it's nothing special. As well as the 5-star being a little bit useless. It's kind of a little bit reminiscent of Light Arthur. Next up is Water Nightmare. Hold on really quickly. Yeah, now, I'm going to talk really quickly, but I'm also going to just stop that Discord thing from happening. Let's see if I can get on there. And... alright, hold on. Alright, next up is Water Nightmare. Water Nightmare is... shit, one sec. God damn it. Guys, come on. Alright. Alright, there we go. Water Nightmare, as I was saying. Literally going to be useful for nothing except for PvP, but it is one of the best PvP mons due to a 100% chance of a 3-turn seal. Now, obviously, like, the monsters are going to have high resistances, which is going to lead to a lot of seals not hitting, but the fact of the matter is that since it's a 3-turn ability, that every time you do land it, it's gonna like last. The effects last for a long time, which is the best thing in like when monsters have high resist is you want a long-lasting effect. Plus the heal is really, really strong on offense and on defense, as it is like 40% of its max HP, which can be very, very good, especially in a bruiser meta. Next up is Wood Nightmare. Not gonna lie, Wood Nightmare has really no use. I guess you could probably use it for story mode clearing since it has that 50% or 30% SP gain, but it's really, really bad, especially because it's defender and everything. Definitely not worth Evo 3 whatsoever. Light Nightmare is kind of the same way. It's pretty bad. It's literally kind of like the same thing as a Dark Arthur, except the defense instead of HP. Bad. Definitely would not build it Evo 3. It's just not worth it at all. It's nice to have though. So it's definitely like a cool like little trophy monster to have. Next up, Dark Nightmare. Dark Nightmare is kind of like Water Nightmare. It's really great for PvP defenses and offenses, but it's also bad everywhere else. This is due to the, of course, 80% chance for 3-turn seal on its 5-star, and it has a 40% morale boost on its 3-star, which means that it can get those AoE seals off a lot easier, which are also very, very deadly. So, obviously, we only have really 3 choices of what we're going to Evo 3, Fire, Water, and Dark. So, we're going to start off by talking about pretty much differentiating between these. So, basically, if you want a PvP monster, this is actually really easy differentiation. Basically, it's this. If you want a PvP monster, you're going to choose between Water and Dark. If you want a PvP and progression monster for, like, dragons, for a little... and it may speed up your golems runs, but not too much, honestly, for Fire. But yeah, if you want more of a utility monster that's not going to be used so much in PvP, but rather in PvE content, then Fire Nightmare is the way to go. Now, if you want a PvP monster, it's really you're gonna have to really choose between these. Because as you can see, Water Nightmare, it has the added effect of, on top of being a sealer, it's also a pseudo healer. As that 40% is like really, really, really significant, to be honest. Like 25k on my Nightmare or something like that. Whereas Dark Nightmare, it's not a healer whatsoever. Instead, it has the Instead, it has that seal and a morale boost, which means it just is going to get more seals off. So it's way more utility than Nightmare, which is than Water Nightmare, which is going to be a lot of heals as well. Now, when choosing which one to Evo 3, I think something very important to look at is number one, do you have other sustain monsters? Like, do you have a water Persephone? Do you have a Fire Shiva? Do you have a Wood Valkyrie on your team already? If that's the case, I think Dark Nightmare is definitely the choice to go in regards to PvP defense. Actually, for PvP offense as well, I think Dark Nightmare. Okay, I'm gonna keep on PvP defense for now. Basically, I think that if you actually have another pseudo healer or another healer that you're going to use on your PvP defense, then Dark Nightmare is the way to go, because you don't really need the second healer in Water Nightmare. However, if you don't have a healer on your PvP defense, I would probably say go for Water Nightmare, mainly because it isn't really necessarily as good of a utility monster, but it's comparable and it provides that heal, which can be very, very, very useful on PvP defense, not just for stalling out, but also just to keep some of your monsters alive to actually win the battles. Lastly, and I know this is a really, really short one, but Nightmares, there's not too much to talk about. Lastly, for PvP offense, it's more than likely going to just be the case where Dark is the best, and that's just because you really get to manipulate when you use actives, and you obviously go first and get your SP up super, super, super quick, which is just going to like snowball out of control, especially since a large portion of the defense meta is still with seals, is still affected by seals because of a lot of aggressors and stuff like that, and self-healers. Dark Nightmare is going to have a large effect compared to Water Nightmare, who number one will be taken elemental advantage of due to like all the Wood Leos and Wood Valkyries and stuff like that, and number two, the heals aren't as good on offense as they are on defense, to be honest, especially if you're going for a really fast acting composition to try to take out your opponents. So that about wraps this one up. I know this one was like considerably shorter than all the other ones, but that's just because basically the Nightmares, there's really only like there's really distinct categories for the Nightmares. Obviously, we talked about fire, anything that's not PvP related. However, PvP related, you're going to, for the most part, want Dark. But I'd say that if you don't have a healer for PvP defense, you're probably going to want to go for Water. And for PvP offense, I think Dark is, for the most part, the best monster because heals aren't as effective. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. And I know this one was shorter, but, let's just consider that a blessing that it's so simple. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.